so fucking done. Finally, it's over. Hey, what is up guys? Frenzy Gamer here, and welcome back to another vlog video. This is actually the #1 vlog video that has been voted. And I thought it would be a perfect time since this week is just finals week, so pretty much nothing else is going to happen except you take an exam. And really, as you can see, this chart's right here. And if it doesn't come up, that means I suck at editing and this is just a useless gesture. But other than that, this was the #1 voted video from a long time ago through a poll I did a long time ago as well. And I never had time to do it because I've just been busy every time. And if not, it's just cause, well, I didn't really do much with my life, honestly. I was actually surprised that you guys wanted to see a video like this because, A, you think like I did something exotic, extraordinary, you know, everything, you know, something very extravagant, you know, so big, but no. I did literally almost nothing during my school year. I just basically went to school, go to work, and then sleep, and then sometimes I don't go to work, and I'll just wake up and do the same thing again. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's it for the video. You guys got it? You guys got it. Bye. Nah, I'm just playing, but yeah, pretty much that's pretty much what it was though. It's mainly just me going to school and then do the same daily routine over and over and over again to where it's nothing really exciting to talk about. However, if there is something I do want to talk about, it's probably like the professors I had during the time and also my experience as a first year in college. And honestly, I have to say, college is no joke. It is honestly a lot harder than high school. It deals a lot more with your organization and time management skills more than anything. You're also really gonna have times when you have to fight procrastination and actually getting the stuff you want to do to be done. And that's another thing. So pretty much my main struggles really was just procrastination, time management, and organization skills. Those were my main struggles when going through college. But what kept me going is the fact that, well, you know, I kind of paid for it, so, you know, I'm trying not to waste my money, so yeah, pretty much that was my motivation there. My other motivation is also the fact that, you know, I want to pursue the electrical engineering path. So that's really another thing that keeps me motivated to keep going. And the thing of the matter is that it's not really as easy when you work. And I get it, lots of people work, may work more hours, lots of people may even work in harder jobs that literally give like shitty schedules, but everyone has a certain type of struggle. And my struggle was exactly the fact that I just working with school. It's the fact that I never went to work before ever in my life during high school, and then all of a sudden start working during college, so you have to get used to the idea that you don't have all this time. Like, a part of your time is going to be working, a part of your time is going to be school, and then you need to at least flex in a little bit of the time to do whatever you want, like, you know, just to relax, you know, get your mind off of things and everything. And sorry if I sound sick, it's just that, you know, I've been kind of catching a cold since yesterday at night, so yeah, it doesn't sound that bad, hopefully, but yeah, to me it sounds pretty bad. But other than that, it's pretty much a struggle for everyone. And other than that, the professors there are actually really awesome. Honestly, I have to say that TCC has a pretty unique amount of professors, and that's basically what I'm going to be talking about today. So pretty much one of my biggest struggles during TCC was actually when I went to college algebra, and this starts with my college algebra professor. And the struggling thing isn't the fact that she couldn't teach. She teaches real good, and honestly, if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't even been able to like make it through the whole semester because she's really that good at teaching. She's good at doing her job. And I've learned a lot more algebra from her than I ever did in any years of my life, from maybe middle school even to high school. I learned a lot more algebra from her alone in a semester. And which is really good because it gets harder from here. So I might as well learn as much as I can. But I remember at the start of the point, I actually had like so many grades that just didn't seem to fit right with like, you know, what I was thinking. I took hours to do any homework. I basically thought that I wasn't good enough, knowing that there was tons of people who were literally smarter than me when it comes to this whole thing. Because when it came to math, I was used to being the smartest guy, or at least one of the smartest guys in the class. And with the fact that I'm basically in this class, and then I'm basically considering myself as an average person, like, you know, I know things and I don't know things, it makes me feel kind of uneasy about it. But that's a good thing. And the reason why it's a good thing is because it helped me to grow more as a person, to know that there's going to be people who are still better than me, even when it comes to education. I knew this before, but I didn't really get to experience it as much until this semester. And really all I kept doing was just working hard, trying to get through, trying to do the best that I can in my ability. And then here comes the finals for today that I just took recently, and I think I did very well. There was still a lot of stuff that she was missing to put inside, but she put the majority of, you know, what we learned in the course in the final, and I was able to do it with pretty much mostly at ease. Like, I was pretty much just going through it like if it was nothing, and it's a good thing. And hopefully I do pass it. Hopefully I did pass the take-home portion too, because I think I fucked up a lot. But other than that, I feel like I did pretty well in the course overall. I passed, so that's really all that matters at this point. And I just need to hope that I keep going further. But as for the professor herself, she's actually a very passionate person in math. And honestly, I have to say that I'm very grateful to have her as a professor. Even though I had to go there early in the morning as my first class, let that be a lesson to you guys to, like, you know, never go to algebra as your first class. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone knows it, but just don't do it. But other than that, she was a great professor. I tried all my best to gain as much knowledge as I can in the course, and in the end, you know, I never really had problems with anything. I had problems with the fact that, you know, you had to do the online course, but other than that, you know, I had really no problems. In fact, after this video, I plan to do it right now to finish everything I need to do so I can keep getting a higher grade for it. But enough about her. The second professor I had was actually a Texas government professor. Not really much to say about her, mainly because I was only there for like half of the semester, so like eight weeks. But she was really cool. She was passionate about what she was about in her teachings, and she taught us a lot about the importance of voting and also the importance of like what we are as citizens in the government. So it's really inspiring to me that even such an ordinary person as I can make so much of a difference. In fact, if you didn't know, so I got this letter from the Congress of the United States, from the House of Representatives, Mark A. Vesey. Sorry if I mispronounced it, but pretty much I got this letter when I was because I was basically fighting for net neutrality, and that's a thing going on. I won't talk about it here because I'm pretty sure everyone knows about it, and if not, you should probably look it up because it's really important. And they actually considered my my letter that I sent to them about net neutrality, and it was pretty cool. Like, you know, they decided to actually write. You can see here, they decided to actually write about it right here. It's pretty cool, huh? It's funny how, like, you know, you can just do something so simple as to just, you know, write a simple letter, and all of a sudden it's like they respond to you, because, you know, that's kind of what they need to do. But to have it come from a U.S. House of Representatives is actually really awesome, because they're one of the hardest people to reach. I mean, other than the president, of course, and like maybe some Supreme Court justices. Just to get one from the House of Representatives, the U.S., not just the city, like the state or anything, the U.S., official U.S. House of Representatives from your state. Interesting, very interesting, and honestly, it was worthwhile. But, yeah, other than that, support net neutrality. The next professor, which actually we didn't get started off on the right foot. This is my British literature professor, and I'm not gonna lie, I am a big fan for those with British accents. It's just a thing for me. I think it's a thing for lots of Americans, and, you know, Mexican Americans, and, you know, just anybody in general. They just love British accents. And it's pretty cool. But we didn't get off in the right foot, actually, in the first start, because I remember he gave me a handout. Well, he gave everyone a handout for those who didn't have the book to read like 3 different stories. And I remember the handout, it was so freaking bad. The handout was literally missing pages. Everything was scattered all over the place. You had to read from right to left. But the fact that it's scattered all over the place, you don't know if you're reading the right pages or not. So technically, it's like you're reading a portion of one story, and then you're reading a portion of the second story, and then you get confused from everything else. And that's what happened to me, actually. And what happened was that I remember when I was taking the quiz and everything, and then he was talking about how bad everyone did, and then I mentioned, you know, well, like, I read your handouts and they were just out of place. I kind of couldn't read anything. Pages were missing, everything was misplaced, it was just bad. And then he had the urge to tell me, well, you should have bought the book, you know. It's not like, you know, you came here just to, like, sit down and, like, you know whatevs. And I'm like, oh my god, like, why would I want to buy a $70 book? Actually, it's just $70 because it's cheapest in the bookstore. If I was to get it anywhere else, it would be costing like $100, maybe even more than $100. So I was waiting for my card to come in as well, because I got a refund from the school, and I'm using the refund to actually buy some supplies. And that was one of the supplies that I had to wait for a week in order for me to even get started on everything. But once I did, I got it and I was happy. But man, that was BS. But yeah, after a while, you know, he actually turns out to be a pretty cool guy. Like after that moment, he actually turns out to be a really cool guy, you know, just very passionate when he teaches as well. And he actually knows a lot about some popular trends, which is the thing that everyone can relate to, is popular trends. Like, I'm surprised he was into Attack on Titan. I'm surprised he was into stuff like Kill Bill. He didn't seem like the type of guy that seems so interested in these things. But yeah, little did you know, that's what it is. He's always interested in lots of these things, and I'm guessing it's just because of the fact that he's into the story and maybe deeper meanings of it. And also, he just likes fucking crazy shit. So who doesn't like crazy shit, honestly? But enough about him. Pretty much, for my last professor for the semester, it's actually Professor Smart. He actually has a YouTube channel, if you guys didn't know about it. I'll put a link in the description if I find it. But pretty much, I have yet to still watch his videos after so fucking long. And I subscribe to him too, but like, I just never had the chance to do it. I feel like I'll just like be on the freeway one day, and then like, you know, it's probably like hella traffic, so then I'll just play a YouTube video of like one of his videos, and you know, have it seem like it's a podcast, because that's kind of like the That's kind of a little bit like how the channel can seem like, because pretty much he's basically a talk show host type of person for his channel, and he deals with like lots of different issues, you know, talking to people who are relating and are in these issues, which is really awesome. And you know, I really want to see one of his videos one day. I'm actually probably gonna do it once I start editing though. But other than that, he's a very cool teacher. I remember my first impressions of him. I can't speak today. I need water. I remember my first impressions of him were like, man, he seems like a really mean dude. Like, you know, that type of dude that would just like give you literally a pop quiz every time, and then you know, have everything due like in this day, the next day, the next day, the next day, like just like so many stuff that you have to do. Probably just gonna feel overwhelming, and he probably wouldn't even care. But no, totally different guy. Like again, like everyone says, don't judge a book by its cover, and that was one of the statements that was very true to heart. He actually was one of the nicest guys I've ever seen, but still can be very like, you know, on top of things. Like he could still be the person who could still be in charge. Like, it's a nice guy, but you can still be in charge with niceness no matter what. Like you won't just like show any weakness. You'll show your strengths. That type of person, which is great. And he was very passionate about what he actually wants us to teach us. Like just recently, actually a few months ago, I remember I was doing a interview presentation, like an informative speech, and this was about interviewing a person from a similar career interest as ours, actually the same one, and then we'll present it to the class based on their information and information for websites. For me, during the first few weeks, I was slacking off on that. Then the last few weeks, I was trying to get the interview. Luckily, I met one of the professors on TCC for electrical engineering. I'm not going to mention his name because, again, I'm not sure if I'll be allowed to, but he's honestly a very cool guy. And the thing I like about him is that he's genuine and very smart. He's 20 years that he served for the Air Force as an electrical engineer, and during his time as an electrical engineer, he got to work on many different fighter planes, like the B-22, the F-15, I believe he also worked on the F-35, I'm not sure, but yeah, he worked on a lot of planes. Oh no, it's not called B-22, it's called B-52. I'm sorry about that. But he worked on many different projects, and he was telling me, like, you know, what made him passionate about electrical engineering, and, you know, lots of really good advice about electrical engineering. Like, for instance, he told me that the best advice that he'll give to any electrical engineer is that you gotta remember that technology changes, and because of the fact that technology changes, you have to keep going with learning the new stuff. If you just think that you're going to go to school and then get the degree, then that's fine, it's perfect, but it's not what you need. You do need a degree, but you also still need the knowledge of new material, new technology, sometimes even old technology, because eventually they're going to need you for something, and you're going to have to know the material. So it was just really interesting and a very great experience to go through someone who's been in the field and who is like me who was like me at the moment, and still kind of like me right now. Like, with the fact that he used to think that he wasn't smart enough. He used to think that, you know, he'll probably like never make it, or like he'll try but he'll think that he'll never make it far. But as he sees himself right now, He's done what he's wanted to do. He's made himself reach to the farthest ability. You know, he's now teaching, and also, like before then, he worked on very famous projects. As for me, I even still doubt myself in my own ability to do things, and that's the thing I'm working on to prevent myself from thinking so. Because if I try my best, at some point I will succeed, and that's what he did, which is why it was a great experience, and which is why I like the idea that in his class, for our professor in business communication, is the fact that he makes projects seem like in ways relatable to our lives. Like he had us do an interview with like a resume, and we do a persuasive speech about that resume and our you know, skills and everything, you know, trying to prove ourselves to be worthy to work somewhere. And even though I already have a job already at, you know, Robert Wayne Footwear and everything, it still is very nice to see that there's still probably some people who still don't have a job or are probably still searching for one, and they're now getting the skills needed to do such a thing. Not to mention, when it comes to the informative speech, you get to learn more about yourself, and you also get to learn more about, you know, other people and their struggles and how they can relate to you. And that gives you a glimpse of hope to see that it's possible if you try your hardest. And you can look into the future, and maybe the future may not be as bright, but you can always change it. Because the future is so far away. Sometimes it's years away, decades away. It's like maybe a few months away until something big can happen. And what you can do right now is you have all this time, but time is not waiting for you. Time is going to keep going no matter what you do. So you can utilize that time to do great things, and you can utilize that time to maybe do something new. You can also utilize the time to make sure that you know some things about yourself and your abilities and improve on them. It's time for you to improve. There is time. And if you doubt yourself about the future, then do what you can in the present to change that. To change that mindset of, I can't do this, to eventually something that says, I can possibly do this. It's very possible if I just keep trying. And that's one of the things I keep learning as, you know, the semester goes by, as my first semester in college. And I have to say that it may not be one of the best, because I didn't really do much, but it is a great learning experience. And if you guys really want to know what I did during this whole time in college, was just trying to start from scratch and start learning about myself, and, you know, figure out my weaknesses and to see what I can improve on them. Not to mention, it's also something to where I try to fix some things that affect me in the present that I've done in the past. I'm trying to see myself as a person and improving on everything that I could be lacking. Not to say that to make myself perfect, but to make myself more prepared for what's to come. Because this is only the beginning. And with that, I have to say that I'm learning quite a lot, not just from books. And as always, stay frenzy.